Hi, good morning. Jan here again. Another weekend haul from the boot sales. So I'm starting to pick up enough that I can do them once a week rather than collect them up and do once a month. Back in May, June, July, no, this is July, May and June, I just wasn't getting enough to do a weekly update. And if you follow me on Neil and Jan Resellers, the channel that I do with my husband, then you may have already seen this, or this may get, I might get this uploaded before he gets the one that we've just filmed with him on. But anyway, this is just the stuff that I've picked up. Normally we do one together and it's a combination of both of our things. But anyway, good morning, I'm Jan, and my channel's mainly about just how I live my life with my dogs and some pretty severe health problems, including massive brain damage. So I muddle through as best I can. So if I have any issues while I'm filming, then they won't get edited out. They will, and that might be I lose my words or fall off the chair. Who knows what's going to happen? Life is a constant adventure when you're not all there. Anyway, I'm starting off on Sunday and kind of working back to Saturday, only because that's how it's laid out on the table. And sorry, I just kicked the tripod there. And also I thought I'd start off in price order and go from cheapest up. Well, you can't get much cheaper than free. And there was a box on the floor saying everything free, and I do feel, you know, when that happens, that people, they just want it gone. They don't care at all, they just want it gone. And I saw this, it's just a big old plywood chopping board. I think it's plywood anyway. It's not in terribly good condition, but what I wanted it for is in the shed where I'm storing some of my stock. If I can put some mugs on a shelf, then put this on top, then I've got a really nice hard surface to put another layer of mugs on. So it's a practical purpose rather than a stick it in the kitchen and use it type of thing. But anyway, that was completely free. So then I moved the things around in the boxes and I saw a wire and I thought, what could that be attached to? Picked it up quickly and just saw on the edge it said DVD. I could read RW, so I think that's writable. DVD multi-disc. I thought that's probably an external disc drive for laptops and things, which often these days come without the drive. So I thought, well, that's got to be worth something. It's far more Neil's area than mine. So anyway, I picked it up and that's now Neil's and he can do with it whatever he likes. Then further round, there was a family raising some money for, I think it was for a dementia charity. But anyway, the young woman was just shouting out at the top of her voice, everything 10p, everything 10p. And while she was shouting it, the mum was having a massive fight with the shower curtain. Now this shower curtain, you won't be able to see it, I'm sure, on here. It's like white stripes, you know, different, how would you describe that? It's like, it's all white. I suppose it's a different weave on the stripe or something, but anyway, it's very similar to one that I just paid £5 for in a reduced section in a shop. And we go through shower curtains quite a lot, because I don't know why, I don't know if you've noticed that they're tending to go orangey. I don't know if there's something in the shower gel or something that Neil uses, or I don't know what it is, but it kind of gets this orange hue that doesn't really wash out. So I think I normally pick up the bargain ones for £2, because then I think I don't mind if I've got to take it off in a couple of weeks and throw it away. Well, not weeks, it's normally a few months. But when I saw that for 10p, I thought, well, that's an absolute bargain. It's I think it's a Primark one. It says, yeah, it's got a label that says Primark, 100% polyester, machine washable. So 10p for a shower curtain. And while the lady was getting me some change, I was just looking at what else they got, because I thought, well, for 10p, let's have a look and see. And I noticed some mugs which I would normally never have picked up. They're not bone china. On the bottom it says not suitable for dishwasher or microwave, because they've got like a gilding on them. But they're quite attractive, and they've got that one, sort of orangey brown. That one which is a purpley. And then there was a third one in a chocolatey brown. So for 30p, I thought even if I give them away to somebody who needs some new mugs, that's still a good deal. So 40p altogether for the dementia charity, which isn't a lot of money, is it? I can easily afford to waste that. Then some 50p items. I got us both bottles like this earlier in the year, but we found when we went out, I think it was 2 weeks ago, to the Bootsale, we both took iced water with ice in. Worked so well, but it was so hot there, we both drained them. So I thought, well, it'd be a good idea if I can pick up another couple, just for if we're on a long car ride or something where we're drinking a lot and it's a really hot day. So I picked up 2 more 50p. That one's in beautiful condition, and it's got an E on it. That one is just a little bit battered by use, but inside's clean and it's all alright. So there's 2 spare bottles. I said to Neil he could have the pink one because it's a bit more battered. But anyway, a couple of spares, so 50p each on those. I found a store with everything on the rug is 50p, and fell in love with this little mustard spoon. It's well, I'm assuming it's a mustard spoon. I suppose it could be an egg spoon, you know, just occurred to me that could have gone with a child's silver egg cup. It's possible. Electroplated nickel silver, but I wanted it to use for loose tea. Now somewhere I have got a proper tea spoon, but no idea where that is. I haven't seen it for years. I think it got lost when we redid the kitchen and everything got boxed up and moved around, and I have no idea where it got to, but I just really liked it, and it was 50p, so I bought that one. And at the same time found this little horse. Don't know if you can see it more against the black of the chair, but it's a really sweet little horse. And while I'd paid for it and the lady was wrapping it up, and the 2 chaps were talking to each other and saying, surely there's something on there were little ornaments down there. They were saying, surely there's something down there that's worth some money. I've actually had exactly the same as this before, and it sold for £20. So I was really excited. I'm thinking, oh, I've got a 50p into £20. That's a really good one. But just when we were filming earlier for the other channel, I noticed that the ear, it's normally the legs on these that get snapped off, but this one's got a damaged ear, so it's not worth anything. That's 50p gone. But never mind. These things happen. It could be it was fine when I bought it and it happened on the way home, or just as we were putting everything out to film earlier, Echo crashed into the table, things went flying. This fell over on the table, so it could have happened in here. There was tea and coffee everywhere because we just made ourselves fresh cups of tea, so I very nearly had tea all over the shower curtain, and then that would have been ruined as well. So count my lucky stars that it's only the tip of an ear on a little horse, but I really don't think it's probably worth anything now. But I don't know, if somebody collects these, which I kind of assume they must do to want to pay 20 quid for them. If they haven't got that particular one, would they want it even though it was is it worth listing or is it just ready for the bin? I'm in two minds what to do with it. What would you do? What would you do with it? Same stall, 50p. I've decided not to get any more mugs for me or for us because I had enough. But this one is bone china. And if you read it, it says, dogs are like chocolates, you can't have just one. And I just couldn't resist it. And then a little pour on the other side, pour inside. So 50p for an extra bone china mug for me. Right, these were actually slightly cheaper. I saw some caravanning mugs. They're both, there's a pink and a blue, my caravan mug. And I thought, I'm sure there's a market amongst caravanners for caravanning mugs. On the bottom it's just marked my caravan mug. So I'd spied these two, and then the same lady had two more with caravans on. These are both the same. These ones are Queens by Churchill. So I thought, well, I'm sure that these have got a good resale value. I think I've since seen these on sold prices at around about £12 each. So, and I know that caravanning people would like to sit in their caravan with their own caravanning mugs, and I know this because we used to have a caravan, and Neil and I would have definitely wanted to sit there with a my caravanning mug on it. And I asked how much she wanted for the mugs, and I said, she said which ones, and I said, well, these two and those two, and she said £1 for all of them, so 25p each. That's well, less than 50p, isn't it? So that's a really good deal. I'd also, I mean, it wouldn't be a boot sale without a teapot, would it? I found this, I don't know if you can see how glorious that colour blue is. That's absolutely beautiful. No maker's mark at all on the bottom, and simply because it had no maker's mark. I mean, it's lovely and clean inside, but because it had no maker's mark, she wanted £1. I offered her 50p, she accepted that, but then she didn't have any change to give me change out of my £1 coin, and that was the smallest thing that I had. So I said, oh well, I'll take it for £1. Then it's what she'd wanted originally, so I took it for £1. But then later on, further around the boot sale, I found a Price and Kensington 2-cup. That's a 6-cup, that's the 2-cup. And Neil is convinced that this one is also a Price and Kensington because they are identical apart from size. So the bigger one is a 6-cup size. This one is a 2-cup size. You can just see on the bottom Price and Kensington. I think this is an older colour. I can't see anything with that says this colour anymore. And Price and Kensington have been taken over by, I think, Rayware. I think it's Rayware. So it could be that as they were changing ownership and name and moving brands, whatever, that they just didn't stamp all their teapots. But it does look exactly like a Price and Kensington. But anyway, the little one was 50p, bigger, and the colour is absolutely identical. It looks so much as though it's exactly the same glaze, but obviously can't sell it as a Price and Kensington because I don't know if it is. But I thought I might list them as a pair of a 6-cup and a 2-cup, because sometimes you want a pot of tea but you haven't got enough people that you want to, so I thought I might sell as a pair. I've also got the same sort of thing in red. I've got the 6-cup and the 2-cup, so I might give that a go. More mugs. found this pair, and as I've said before, I pick up mugs if they're in pairs or if they look as though they're part of a set, but picked up one of these because it was in a pair, and then saw on the bottom it said Pimpernel. Pimpernel is part of the Portmeirion group, and it actually does say in the fine writing underneath the Portmeirion website. So 2 of those for £1, so they're 50p each. Now this one was one of these things that you spot from a distance and home in on. And this mug I knew from a distance was a Villeroy and Bosch wave design. They come in all sorts of different patterns, and this one came with its saucer. Last time I'd seen one of these at a boot fair, she wanted £2.50 or £3.50 for it. I know it was more than I was willing to pay anyway, but this lady was selling the cup, and I don't know if that's supposed to be a saucer or a plate. It's not a really tight fit, you know, the mug can move around in it, so I don't know that I'd be confident carrying it without hanging on to the mug as well, but then I'm wobbly, so anyone with better balance and steadier might cope with it easier. But you could easily put your tea, maybe a small sandwich, a little fancy cake or a biscuit. But a nice set, and for £1.50 I was happy to pay that. I feel as I'm racing through today, but I don't know if I am. I did this last week and it's still cut off at 28 minutes. So if I suddenly disappear at 28 minutes, go to part 2 because I'll carry on another. And one day I will learn to edit and then I'll start stringing them all together, but that day's not today. This one, beautiful Denby mug. I'm showing it upside down for you to read. Part of the Denby marking has come off. But that does happen. I've seen that on a lot of Denby pieces. But that's, do they call that a workman's mug? Or I can't remember the name of that shape. But I love the shape. And the chap wanted £1 for this. Happy to pay £1 for a Denby mug. Even happier to pay £2 for this beautiful storage jar. It's got a seal on the rim, so you could put something like cookies in, I suppose, if you wanted to. As with an awful lot of these things, it's a bit grim inside, but it's still got part of its original price label on. I just don't understand people who don't take labels off things. I'm quite fanatical about taking labels off, but anyway, it's got the Denby marking, which you probably won't be able to see in that light, and then the original, you can't even, half it's washed off, and it says Denby, looks like it says Boston, but it might not. It might say Bost. What else could start with Bost? I don't know, but anyway, beautiful jar, and paid £2 for it. These are selling at about £26, but I fell in love with it and I think it's mine. I think I might keep this. I was actually saying to Neil earlier, it's a lovely kind of urn shape. Maybe that would be good for my ashes when I go. So, yeah, when I die, tip the biscuits out, give it a quick wash, bit of super glue around the top, and then stick me in the long barrow. That'd do lovely. So this, all of this that I've showed you so far was all from Shoreham flyover boot sale. Oh, and this little teapot, this was one of the first things I bought there. It just says how sweet it is. And on the bottom it says, a little of what you fancy does you good. It doesn't have a maker's mark on it at all, but it comes under my teapot criteria of it's sweet. It doesn't matter if it's not got a maker's mark on it, if it's undamaged, and if I think it's just a nice little novelty one that somebody might like. That one came with a, well, she said the matching sugar jar, but if you look, those are different colour spots. Those spots are all the same. And I don't think, this one's not got anything written on the bottom. I don't think it actually had anything to do with the teapot originally, but it has had sugar in, because it's really hard to open because it's sticky, but that'll easily wash off. And I don't really know what I'm going to do with that. I don't know if that's got any value on its own. Might stick it in with the teapot and see what happens. I'm undecided on that one. Then a couple of days ago I wanted to add some, I bought some pyjama bottoms, and the elastic's too loose, so they've got that feeling of falling off all the time. So I thought I could just put some webbing through it and use it as a tie belt. And I know I've got a small reel of webbing somewhere, but I've got no idea. I used to know where every single thing in this house was, from a drawing pin to a ball of string, you name it, I would know exactly where it was. But over the 25 years that Neil's been here, it's like the shifting sands of the Sahara Desert in this house. Things move and I just don't know where anything is anymore. So I don't know where the webbing is, but I saw a whole roll of webbing. It's still got its original staple from the manufacturers, which is a little bit rusty, so the top bit's probably not going to be any good, and it's a bit grubby round the edge and round the sides, but once you get into it, that should be fine. And in any case, whatever I make, once it goes through the wash, that'll come up clean. And he wanted £2, and I thought, I can't remember how much I normally pay per yard, but I'm sure it's more than that, and I don't know how much is on that reel. I have no idea how much I've bought for £2, but it felt like a bargain, so it probably was. Right, so that's all of my Sunday things from the Shoreham flyover boot sale. Saturday we were at Faygate, which is our local one. Sorry, I need to scratch. It's literally just down the road from us, so we love going to that one. And you know, Billy, who runs it, always does such a good job, and you know, he's got a good team there, and we enjoy that one immensely. So because it's a couple of days ago, I'm forgetting what I was paying for things, but didn't get an awful lot at that one. But I do write things down in my book, because otherwise it'll be gone. You know, I've never had a very good short-term memory, so if I write it down as I buy it, then I know what it costs when I got home. So the little teapot is it's a strange little thing. It's an unusual, what would you call that, ribbing? No, I'm looking for a word. Not ribbing, not corrugated, fluted maybe. But Price and Kensington on the bottom. I can't find any the same as this on eBay. I've seen a different shape one by Price and Kensington in a different colour, but nothing the same as this in this sort of, because this is closer to the 2-cup size. If you compare the two, it's a very slightly bigger. You could perhaps squeeze 3 cups out of this one. But that one I paid, did I just tell you I paid £1.50 for it? See, my short-term memory gone. I've got no idea what I've said. Yeah, so £1.50 for the little Price and Kensington teapot. Last week when I went, I told you that I got some of these pens, the multicolour pens, and I was cross with myself for not buying up what he had. But stationery guy was there again. He had 5 left. So I said to him, well, I'll take the last 5, that's £2.50 I owe you. And he said, no, 5 for £2. So all 5 for £2. So I got good supply into the future of multicolour pens. Pleased with those. And glad that he was there when I went back, because I do get buyer's regrets so often after boot sales. I come home and I think, I wish I'd have bought whatever it was. But generally speaking, it's something that was like £10 or something, and I tend not to buy it so that I've got enough money for something better. And then I come home with the money and I haven't bought what I think, or I wish I had bought. So I'm trying to get to the point now where if I want it and it's £10, that's not unreasonable to spend on me. A couple of weeks ago I'd seen a door stop that would have been really useful on my bedroom door, because if my window is open in my room and other doors and windows are open in the house, it slams shut. So if I had a good door stop there, that would stop that happening. And I didn't buy it and keep looking around for the same woman again. But even if she did go back to the same boot sale, and you do see sometimes the same people week after week at different sales selling the same things, but even if she did go back, she might have sold it by then. So I need to be better at buying things there and then if I get it home and I don't, that's actually a good point. If I buy it for me and I get it home and decide I shouldn't have bought it, then all I've got to do is sell it. See? Not all there sometimes. I need to really think about things more. There was 3 mugs. There was a matching pair. This pair, these are Herbs and Spices, Roy Kirkham. Obviously part of a set. This one says Sage, Rosemary and Thyme. And this one is Foxglove, Violet and Celandine. And she had those 2 and this one, which is this one. It's gold on white and it's very hard to read, but I think it's the Leonardo collection. This style of mug you can pick up in Sainsbury's or Tesco's, and I usually have some of them in the cupboard. But she wanted 50p each for the mugs, and I said, would you do 3 for £1? And she said yeah, so I took those 2 and obviously this one. So that's the 3 mugs. And then branching out to something a little bit different. I thought he was so sweet. A little elephant money box. I checked and he did have his stopper, but it wasn't until I got home that I realised that the stopper is actually perished. So it needs a new stopper, but you can buy them separately on the internet. It's got a couple of little chips on it. And I thought what I really need to do is get out my acrylic paints and see if I can just touch up some of the china bits and pieces. I've got a couple of the cookie jars, just need a little touch up here and there. And this one, I think I paid £2 for that, so I didn't pay a fortune for it, but it would look better if it was touched up with a little bit of grey rather than have the white chip on it. But I just rather liked it. I used to collect money box, not money boxes. It's a piggy bank, even though it's not a piggy. But I used to have a collection of them. I don't know what I've done with most of them. My original piggy bank that my dad bought me when I was little had survived 2 children, countless dogs, cats, house moves, goodness knows whatever, and I had it on a bookshelf in my bedroom, and I had a desk with a computer chair, and Neil was sitting there spinning on the chair and kicked it off and smashed it to pieces. I would have divorced him, but we weren't married at that point, but he's lucky I actually did marry him after that. But yeah, I still miss that old money box, because I'd had it, you know, for, at that point it had been in my possession for over 40 years without anything happening to it. But that's life with Neil, unfortunately, but we